Hello and welcome to the Sunday Dev Stream. Is everything working? Let's see. It appears my mic is working and my camera mic is muted as it ought to be. Now let me say nothing and see if the level is 0 dB. Looks good. Or not 0, -60 or whatever. Decibels are a very strange and silly measurement. All right, so we have so much localization work to do. It never seems to end. It never seems to end. It seems like so much more work than eShade was. I guess because my standards are so much higher now. I'm trying to do such a better job. And turns out sometimes doing a better job is not just because you know more. It's because you will just kill yourself harder this time. You know, you're just like, last time I only killed myself this much, and I'm just gonna simply kill myself this much because my standards are higher. And I'm not really any smarter now. So let's see. So the first thing is we're working on this map. And when I go into play mode and I open the map, I'll show you. The map, I think right now is all blank. Well, actually, we'll see what happens. Let's see. Okay, so I press M, opens to the world map. Oh, I want to give myself the etchery map, which is what? Let's see. Let's open the maps. Let's see. It should be a tab, map tab here. And that tab has a bool. Okay. And then we're going to go home, set bool, and I'm just going to give myself that map and then open the map. Okay, now I have it. And the game is in Russian mode. That's why we're seeing Russian here. This should be in Russian. So there's a problem. Got to look at that. Don't know why that's not in Russian yet. It's pulling the text. I can see that it's text. It's not actually part of the image. And these all say no tiki, which is good. That's actually what I want. It's trying to pull the Russian, but the Russian doesn't exist yet. So that's good. All right, wicked. Okay, so that seems to be working all right, which is gruntling. But let's see why that first map is not pulling the loc. Keeping track of this act, hello and welcome. Let's take a look what's going on there. Actually, you know, it's maybe just that we need to pull the loc sheet again. I don't think that that's the case, but I will pull it anyway, just to be sure. So let's download the TSV and I'm gonna rename it master loc sheets. .txt. And then I need to go into my master loc sheet on Unity. And there we go. It's already checked out. So let's open the folder. Then I just need to overwrite it. Replace. And then I'm going to go in. Oh, actually, I want to open this in Unity. And we just need to do one thing to the loc sheet every time. It's kind of annoying, but probably should automate it somehow. Wombat hello says wise men say only fools Russian. I don't get it. Only fools Russian. I'm not smart enough. Sneaker 101 hello says after I watched a couple of videos explaining your whole game dev history, I had only one question. Why didn't you make another 3D open world game? Like, bro, the graphics, sound, etc. was so good in your previous game. And it's so good in Glimmerwick. Glimmerwick is jaw-droppingly beautiful and moving. And if you spend time in that world, you will be blown away. But everyone has their own taste. And some people like 3D and they don't want to play a more illustrated looking game. And some people don't want to play a 3D game because it makes them sick. Like first-person games make them sick. Actually, first-person games make 25% of the population on Earth sick to play. Just sick. They're never going to play it because their bodies literally cannot handle it, and there's nothing we can do. So there's just all sorts of different, you know, tastes. Songs of Glimmerwick is my wife is the creative director and lead designer of the game and lead artist of the game. And Eastshade I was the creative director and lead artist of the game. So this Songs of Glimmerwick is kind of Jacqueline's baby, and Eastshade is kind of my baby. However, as to your point, why didn't we make another one? Well, I was done with Eastshade. I'd worked on it for 5 years, and I was, quite frankly, very burned out. I didn't want to touch Eastshade anymore, and I still don't. I don't ever want to really make another Eastshade. I do long to go back to 3D. 3D is still very exciting to me. I'm a 3D artist. I love 3D, and we will go back to 3D, full 3D, the kind that you're thinking of, I think, high fidelity 3D. But Songs of Glimmerwick is almost certainly going to be vastly more successful than Eastshade. Like, we already know that. We're probably going to launch with 200,000 wish lists. And Eastshade launched with not even 30,000 wish lists. So I think Glimmerwick has much broader appeal than Eastshade, not just because of the art style, although I think the art style is more broadly appealing too. I think the people are a lot less hideous. I think the animal people were really weird and turned a lot of people off from the game. So yeah, you just have to remember that everyone has their taste, and you know, sometimes it's hard to imagine why someone might like something, you know, that maybe is not to your cup, but it's true. We all have different cups. Elvis lyrics. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know my Elvis very well. Sneaker, thank you, by the way, Sneaker, appreciate that. Asks, are you gonna make Ukrainian localization? No plans to do Ukrainian. We're localizing to 8 languages, including English, and Ukrainian is not just high enough player count, unfortunately. It's literally just player count. We just pretty much go down the list. And to a certain extent, wish list count. Like, we look at our wish lists and determine if, you know, if we have enough wish lists to make back our investment easily, then that is a language that we localize to. And Russia is a big country doing evil things. And if you're Ukrainian, I'm sorry about that. But they buy a lot of games. Okay, so master loc sheets. Let's see. Lu Chong, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. So now that I've pulled the new master loc sheet, we're going to open up the map, and I'm going to see if it's going to pull the Russian. Or really just anything other than English. Is defaulting to English. I've got this bright light on my face. It's kind of distracting, but hopefully nobody's looking at my ugly face. All right, so this is interesting. It turned, oh, that's the world map, of course. Okay, cool. So it is working. Awesome. Yeah, sweet. And it all appears to be, it's trying to fit it in there. I found Russian is basically the longest language, even longer than German. Everyone says German's so long. And maybe it is. It's just like our German localizer is just like really good at keeping the strings short because he knows German is long. But they're not going over, so that's cool. Like, everything's fitting reasonably well. Like, like number 7 is like 3 entire lines. That's crazy. Okay, but it seems to be working. Okay, the other thing I want to do, I want to go to the developer start settings and put in the string, the bool token, so that we automatically start with the etchery map so that we can get working on that as well. Hello, Lu Chong says, watch some of your YouTube videos. Thank you for watching them. Appreciate that. Good to see the dev is still going. Oh, absolutely still going. Absolutely still going. Do or die, man. Do or die. Gotta ship this game. It's happening. It's for real. It's not a hobby for us. So, developer start settings. And let's go to starting game bools. I'm just gonna add one more starting game bool here. Is given etchery map so that now the player will start in the developer settings, they'll start with the etchery map so we can better see what we're doing. All right, so everything seems to be working, which is groovy. So if we change the game to German, then since we've already pulled the loc, we should already have German strings. So I want to see how that looks. Yeah, localization is, you know, it's hard to decide how many languages to do because you could be really like aggressive and localize like every language that you think has an even 50% chance of making your money back. You could just do it, localize there, but it's really expensive to do that. And it's a lot of upfront money, and we don't really have any money right now. We've kind of used all our money and more. So just kind of risky to do too many languages, and we've already done a lot. 7 is a lot of languages for a game that is 100,000 words, 100,000 words. So it's not cheap. It's like, you know, between $10,000 and $20,000 per language to localize to. What am I doing? Right, opening the map. Here we go. Okay, so here we have, it's defaulting. This is interesting. It looks like it's defaulting to a lot of English, which is good, but we have some errors. So these ones definitely are not, this is great because we can see exactly which ones are not pointing to the correct key. So we're going to take a look at that. Okay, so if I change the game into German, here we go, and then open the map. Sweet, so we can see all the German names, and then these three on the left have issues. Look at how long this one is. Like, what are we going to do about that? That's crazy. This one barely fits. And it's one word too. Okay. You're all lucky I hit the mute button in time. A sneeze. Yeah, it's a lot of words. Cauliflower says, have you considered LLM agents for extra translations? Of course, it can't be word to word and should always provide context. Yeah, I mean, so if I did an LLM, I'd have no idea if the quality was good unless I have a player play the entire game. And I think what happens, or at least what I've heard happens a lot, you know, is just like all of it is a little weird. And then what are they going to like improve every string that's weird? You might as well just have them localize the whole damn game. Like many localizers I know hate working with text that was started with LLM because it's like, it's almost easier just to start from scratch, right? And I don't know, I just hate LLMs. I just hate AI. I feel like it might destroy the earth. So I would rather put my energy into, you know, hiring a translator. Also, when you hire a translator or a localization firm, it's like if we use an LLM, like I would have to be doing all that work to actually feed it the strings and stuff. And to verify, we'd have to have like, you know, LQA, localization quality assurance, and we'd have to be, there's like a lot more work on my end to do that than just to like give the entire spreadsheet to someone who knows what they're doing and knows how to localize games and will play the game and will test their work and is, you know, will put their name on it, is proud of it. And, you know, someone who does lots of games and has a reputation to defend and all that stuff. And that's just better for me. But it might be the LLMs get so good that it becomes hard to justify hiring translators. I don't know. I kind of feel like if they were going to do that, then they would have already been there by now, but they don't seem to be. So, okay. Million S says, I think it looks fine. I'm assuming you're talking about the extremely tiny text here. Yeah, I mean, it's going to have to because there's nowhere for the text to go. So it's just going to have to do that. Cauliflower says, could actually be a liability. What if LLM generated some hate speech? Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it could do that too. I would be more worried about it just not making any sense and being inconsistent with itself, right? And it would just be like such a spectacular failure for the game to mess up on that. It's like it is localization is expensive, but it's not expensive when you compare it to the entire cost of development, right? So, it's like 15 grand is like one programmer's work month overall, and this game has taken 7 years already. So I feel like it's one of those things that it just is worth the money to just really get a professional to do it right. Minioness says, looks a bit like some German in it. It's supposed to be German. Are you German? Does it look like gobbledygook to you? AI is just cringe. Yeah, I mean, I'd be embarrassed too. I would just be embarrassed. Like, if someone's like, "What is wrong with this translation? It's so weird," and then it's like, "Oh well, you see, it's not a real translation." It would just be embarrassing. And those people pay just as much money sometimes as the English version. So, right. I mean, there is that some people say that translators are doing that. I don't know. Wombat asks, are there any Australian voice actors? Yes, there are. We do have a few Australian voice actors. I don't think that there are any Australian accents in the game, but I know that there is at least one Australian voice actor in the game. But I think that she's doing more of an RP sounding accent. All right, let's fix those translation keys on the left. Hey, Nani asks if we have a baby yet. No baby yet. Nope. But we are feeling better. We're on the mend, and my cough is even going away really quickly. So yes, all is well. I'm so glad we don't. Some of you guys already know, but my wife Jacqueline is extraordinarily pregnant and about to pop any second. So we were sick, and we were just really hoping we wouldn't have to. Particularly, I was hoping that Jacqueline would not have to give birth to a baby while having a cold. That just sounds like a special kind of suffering that nobody should have to endure. The T key doesn't look German. Oh, yeah, the T key is just basically an error message. It doesn't, but that umlaut, of course, does along with the rest. Wait, what are you saying? Are you saying the umlaut doesn't look right, or are you saying the umlaut looks fine? Colfausch's art looks great. Thank you very much. No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Minioness. Yeah, second one. Yeah. All right, so let's open up the maps. And let's set it to our etchery loc. Here we go. And then it seemed like the music hall had a bad translation key. So map music hall, let's check that one out. I'm sure that that's just a... Oh, yeah. Okay, map music underscore hall. So I was supposed to do an underscore. I just did underscores for some of them because I'm an idiot. But here we go. So that one, then headmistress office, I'm sure just needs an underscore. Headmistress office, and then the Nocturne Forest one was broken as well. So the Nocturne Forest probably just needs an underscore, and then all of them hopefully should be German. Let's turn that off and then save. Umlaut looks fine. Okay, good, good. Yeah, I have made so many glyphs. I made that umlaut myself. so that our Latin font supports all of the Latin languages. Okay, here we go. Very nice. And all of it looks okay. So this one I feel like we've got to do something about. Let's see if we can find a way to make that string not... I don't really think it should just break in two like this if we can help it. So I do have a minimum size of 12 and it's already hitting it. So maybe if we just had it a little wider. Oops. And I have to imagine... I'm hoping that German will be the longest language here. But like I said, Russian is surprisingly long too. So now it all fits, but the G, see, this is a problem. We don't want that. So if I put it here, then at least it will fit. And it's so small, it's almost impossible to read, which is unfortunate. What I could do is turn it like sideways like this. And then I could give it a little bit more room. Something like that. Let's see, is that impossible to read? Oh, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Let me copy the transforms for that. I think that might be a little bit better than having teeny tiny font, because that really was very small font. There. Yeah, I think that will be a little bit better. So let me copy the component there and paste that back in. And everything else is okay and legible and really quite good. I mean, I'm happy with it. What's going on here with this? Oh, it just does a dash? Okay. That's good. And all the other stuff, I think works pretty well. You know, it's not as beautiful as the English version because the English version is all built into the texture, but I think it's still more than a lot of games do because it's, you know, it's a map and it has text all built in. So hopefully people will appreciate that. All right. Mignonette asks, did I do all the art? My wife was the lead artist, so she drew everything you see on screen. Thank you. Wombat also, great minds think alike, turn slightly diagonal. Maybe better off spacing it. Yes, but unfortunately, I would have to change the string to do that, and that's just a little scary. So yeah, I don't have good control over, it's like, you know, there's 7 other languages and I don't exactly know how each will look. So I just try to make a solution that will accommodate, you know, any text without me having to mess with the text. I find it's a little too scary for me to be messing with the localization per language, you know. Okay, so it was, which one was it? It was the music hall, right? No, it was the common room. Okay, here, it's common room. And I'm gonna paste component values. There we go. Now I will change the map to the etchery. Basically, I just want to see if it looks completely stupid. No, it looks fine in English. And this is actually not how it looks in English because English doesn't even use text. So English looks like this. That's how English looks. Oh, there's some texture. There's some texture I left out. So I need to turn that texture back on for sure. So that's how the English one looks. So let me go ahead and do the blank map. And let me go back to that etchery map. Okay, so we have it open. I'll turn off the English And then we should have some textured layers, Okay, there's clearly no texture showing. Might be in here. Yeah, here it is. There we go. So that's with the fold. I think that Jacqueline ended up not going with a fold because I don't remember that fold in there. Let's see. Let's look at the English one because that one is going to tell us. Oh, she did leave the fold in there. Okay, cool. So we'll leave everything in there. And then I will save this export as a PNG. We'll export it as etchery map blank. Yep, replace it. And then before we save it again, I'm going to enable all the English. Could not save what now? Because the file is locked. Okay. You know what? I actually don't even need to check it out because I don't think I need to save over it. So there we go. Now we've got that beautiful texture in there. Ah, okay. Very good. Well, that should fit a lot better because that will make 2 lines. I like when it makes 2 lines. Imagine reading that on Steam Deck. I know it's going to be really, really hard. Yeah, it's size 12 font. It's really, I think you just have to kind of already know what the word is. But it's better than nothing, which was what we had before. We literally just, I was going to leave the map in English and just be like, well, you know, hopefully people, well, basically I was like, this map was almost useless. The other ones are not as useless. And we did localize the whisk map, the world map. I was definitely thinking of leaving in English, but I just decided that as annoying as it is to localize this map, given that we've such a premium localization, I feel like we went with a company with a very good reputation in local heroes. And I just feel like if this map was the thing that gave players the impression that we don't have a first-rate localization, that would just be really annoying. Just be like, oh yeah, that one map wasn't, the localization's meh, you know? There was this map I opened all the time that was still in English, and I just thought, nope, can't have it. Let's do it. Roll the sleeves up. Let's do it. Okay. All right, so world map 3. There we go. So this one I was thinking about leaving, but now after having done that one, like, yeah, it sucked, but it wasn't that bad. So I am going to localize this one as well. And that's actually what we're going to do right now. Saravati, hello and welcome. Cauliflower says the web UX could potentially say just make the container panel bigger to fit the text. Yes, yeah, we could do it to overflow, but the problem is that the text was exactly the color of the background, so I guess we could change the text color. There's a number of things we could have done, but I thought that that one was the best. That one was the least risky, I guess. Stefan, hello and welcome. Okay, so let's go and do this one. So first we need a blank version of this map. So I need to put, unfortunately, all the text. I need to find all the text layers. I'm going to put them in a group, and I'm just going to call this English. Everything that's English should go into this group, and I'm just going to deactivate it. And we did miss this Glimmerwick. Now, I'm wondering, should we leave Glimmerwick? I'm wondering if we should just leave that on the map, just leave it in English. Because I know that things are not going to, that whatever the translation for Glimmerwick is, which I don't know how the localizers chose to translate Glimmerwick. So it looks like in German they left it Glimmerwick, which obviously makes sense, but I'm more thinking of the non-Latin languages. War of Glimmerwick. Nope, that's a book. Here we go, Floor of Glimmerwick. Okay, so Russian. Is it a transliteration? Let's see. Yeah, the Latin language is left at Glimmerwick. But of course, the non-Latin languages, we have something else. So let's see what this says. Flora of Sparkling Island. Okay, so they actually changed the name to Sparkling Island, which is cool. I think that's good. But I'm just wondering if it would be weird if it said Glimmerwick in English in the Russian version of the game, or if the map should say Sparkling Island. Leave it English for all. Well, it's definitely going to be English for English speakers. But now I'm just wondering if it should be, because like, I think that most Japanese people, if I'm not mistaken, can read Latin characters. I don't think Chinese people can. And I would imagine most Russians can read Latin characters. I mean, definitely interstate is going to sounds like is very fluent. Native Russian speaker. Can most Russians read Latin characters? Like if a Russian was playing a game and all these little black words, those would be in Russian. But if I left this as Glimmerwick in Latin characters in English, would it be weird to a Russian person? Would they be like, what is this Latin doing in my game? Or are they kind of used to seeing, you know, stuff like that? It will break the immersion. Okay, that's good to know. Okay. So don't leave the Latin if you can help it. All right. Well, that settles it then. I'm gonna translate that too. Russians can read it. It wouldn't be consistent with the rest of the style, but we can read it. Okay. All right. Well, let's try to change it then. So here is the title, and let me just put it in the texture folder. Oops. Okay. So unfortunately, that one is not going in very well, but let's remove that and remove all the English from the map. Come on, where are you? Texture, group 5. What's going on here? I just made a group called English and it seems to have been disappeared. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's all there's the complete blank map. And now let's export that as a PNG. And it's going to be called world map 3 blank. It's going to go in UI, save. Thank you for the advice, guys. Fortunate to have 2 Russians here to help. David, thank you very much for the compliments on the world map. Jacqueline, my wife, drew it all, painted it all. Cauliflower says, wait, why is this not translated? Was it forgotten? Okay, gotcha. Gotcha, okay. Hey, Nani says, is that custom fonts? Jacqueline made for the game. So no, we don't have any custom fonts. Yeah, this is all font she found. I don't actually know what font, where it came from. I don't even think I have the font on my computer. The font for the game is a font called Itakaf that I bought. That is also, of course, we didn't make it. I did, however, have to make many glyphs for the font because the font didn't support any of the German special characters or any of the Portuguese special characters or any of the French special characters or any of the Spanish special characters. So I had to make like probably over 100 glyphs for the font. So I'm very intimately familiar with the font at this point, to the point where I actually got really into making fonts while I was making the glyphs, and it made me feel like, oh man, wouldn't it be so cool if we did make the font? Making a font is an insane amount of work. It's like so much work. But it would be so cool. I like typeface in general. It excites me. Okay, so let's make a new empty, a new game object, and let's call it world map loc. And I'll go ahead and do the code for it right now, just because it should be fairly basic. So we also, instead of, we got etchery loc, now we also have world map loc. And then we also have a sprite for the localized world map. We'll call it world map for loc. Okay. And wherever you would normally use the normal world map, which is right here, we need to do a check. If the game is not in English, then we're going to do something different. We are going to set the sprite to the world map for loc, which is a blank version of it. And we're going to set the world map for loc game objects. We're going to set it active. Otherwise, in every other situation, we're going to set it inactive. So for English, we set it inactive. And of course, it sets it inactive first, and then it checks if it's not English, in which case it turns it back on. But that code will never fire if the game is in English, so we're good. Yeah, there we go. And we set it false in every other situation. Okay, so let's hook those up. Keep changes. Okay, let me catch up with chat. Hey, now Nani says, wouldn't have surprised if we had made one for Glimmerwick. Yeah. Oh, I wish. I really wish we had done absolutely everything. I wish we had recorded every sound and made every glyph of every font. That would be sweet. Making a Chinese font is like not a lot of work, but like a lifetime of work. It's actually like a civilization scale undertaking, I feel like. Because there's just like thousands and thousands of characters. All right, cool. So now we have to bring all these. Well, we'll start with the title. Let's put the title in there, see how that goes. World map. And the title will be, we'll start with just calling it Glimmerwick. And I will just stylize it as like being all caps. And then I will use the eyedropper. And we don't have the blank version of the map. I'm actually going to leave the one with text up just so we can see what we're doing. Okay, cool. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to scale this so that it's like just perfectly. It's going to be this big. It's not going to be any bigger. It's not going to have the cool wave to it. Yeah, it's not going to be as cool, but it should still be pretty cool. And we've got the right color, and it's going to get as big as it can get, and it'll scale itself down as much as it needs to so that it never, I don't want it extending on beyond here and stuff. So that should be good. Let's see, like, I guess I'll use the blank map just for a second so we can see how this looks. Oh, we need to set the import settings on the world map 3 for loc. Here we go. So we got to set it to UI. Okay. It's not a power of 2 texture. Interesting choice. And then we'll set the map to be the blank one. There we go. Hey, it looks good. I like it. It looks good. But now we can kind of see how the other translations look. So Flora of Glimmerwick. I don't know how to extract the Glimmerwick part. I don't actually know what we're doing. So this, I think, is what we went with for in Chinese. So I'm sure it sounds better in Chinese. Let me delete a few. Oh, look, Glimmering Victor. Glimmering Vic. dim light dimension. It's like, dude, I have no idea how to extract Glimmerwick out of this. Maybe I could just try to find the word flora. Aspiration, so that's definitely not it. And of course the grammar, who even knows what's going on here? It's great. We should delete one character, we get a completely different sentence. That is insane. Maybe we should, I don't know, do one character at a time. What's the ending? Oh yeah, we already did that. Thing, dude, I have no idea. But I'm just going to paste the entire thing in there. Fortunately, Chinese is very short. So here's it looking with Chinese. It looks like it's too thick. Like it's going to be hard for people to read. So I'm wondering, yeah, that looks way cooler. That looks freaking awesome. Everything looks so much better in Chinese. I cannot even, just like, the game is so much more beautiful in Chinese. It's just like, Chinese is the prettiest language. Okay, so not bold. So here we're back to Glimmerwick. Oh, and this is just because we've got the Chinese fonts. Let's go with the Latin fonts. All right, and we'll leave it non-caps lock. Okay, so that's fine. Very nice, but we need to not be using map etchery title. We've got another title we need to use, and that is the world map. The world map Glimmerwick, okay. Nice. Okay, on to the next one. Now we've got a bunch to do, so let's get cooking here. This one's not going to be called title. Now I'll start naming them just based on what we're putting it over. I will revert back to the world map just so we can see what we're doing. And I'm just going to start naming them after, like, this is called the Whittled Pines, so this is going to be Whittled Pines. Whittled Pines. And then this is going to be world map underscore Whittled Pines. I believe that's the convention we went with. World map underscore Whittled Pines. I'm just going to paste it directly in just to make sure. Okay, cool. We got it. Wombat says, you know how on the map it has that massive rock behind the lighthouse? Always makes me giggle how in the game it's not like that. Yeah, the map does not line up perfectly with the world, just like real maps that were made by real cartographers in olden times. But yeah, definitely, it's definitely not a perfect 1-1 match. I'm curious how many other people will notice. This is weird how we're getting the multiple materials in there. I wonder what that's all about. All right, so we got to find the kind of right size we want for this. So now we're going to enable wrapping, and we'll also enable overflow. We're going to turn off the big the all caps. And it looks like the line spacing is really extreme. I'm going to reduce it. Should get more size out of the font like this. And I would like to italicize it. It would make it look more like the font beneath it. But I can't because, unfortunately, unless I do a bunch of work to italicize it only for the Latin languages, it's also going to italicize the Chinese and Japanese languages, which is a problem. You can't italicize those characters. I mean, you can technically, like it will work fine, but it will look very weird and wrong according to my Googling. So you should not italicize the Asian languages. Let me get an eyedropper for this color. Let's pull exactly the color. There we go. Oh, we've got a lot more here. It looks like I can do even less, even more reduction there. Okay. Oh yeah, that's size 30, so that should be plenty big. And I'll just, so this one, we wouldn't want it to be going into multiple lines, I don't think. So whisk, and we probably don't want it to be that wide either. So I'll just squeeze it like that. Call this whisk. And we've got world map whisk. Okay. The next one, we do want multiple lines, so I will use that. And it seems like just overall, this one is just smaller in general. So I'll just shrink the size of the field a little bit. And it's going to be rose wheat fields. Rose wheat fields. Okay, and then we've got the string. Perfect. Okay, this one has a nice little stylization that we will not be able to do, but that's totally fine. Just going to do the best we can. It's so much better than what we were going to have before, which is nothing. Ochre woods, ochre woods, and ochre woods. Okay, and we're going to duplicate that. Here we go with the cypress foothills, I think it is. Okay, name the game object and name the loc ID. Okay, another one. Here we go. We're going to rotate this one just like it is in the map. And I'm going to squeeze it so that it mostly will try to stay on one line. Actually, I will turn off the ability to wrap for this one. Disable. And this is going to be called the shifting spires. We'll make it really, really wide because it looks like we have plenty of room to go super wide should the language require it. Okay, I think that's all. Oh, no, the etchery. We still have the etchery. Okay. So we'll do one more here. Or get rid of the rotation. I also just want to make sure we got cypress foothills. Oh, yeah. Shifting spires. And then the loc ID as well, shifting spires. Cool. All right. And then for this, it's going to just be the etchery. And rename the game object and rename the localize on enable. This one, I don't want it to go that wide. We'll just stick it right there. And now we've got, yeah, so it could get pretty wide if it has to. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm hoping that's everything. Let's assign in our maps UI. Let's assign our world map loc and also our world map blank. I will set this map back to, oh no, it's already world map 3. So I think we're good to go, honestly. That's it. That's all it took. That was not bad at all. That was easy. Wow, do I really have 53 people across both channels watching? Well, thank you everyone for hanging out with me while we do localization. Okay. Flopsy Lops, thanks very much for the follow. Appreciate that. Solid State KC, appreciate the follow. Thank you, thank you. I have actually, it looks like a bunch of follows that I missed. I don't know if I was talking too loud or what, but Kel Serena, I really appreciate the follow if you're still around. And Nads W, appreciate the follow. I only thanked Lu Chong, no one else after that. I managed to hear, so I don't know what that's all about. Hello, Flopsy Lofts. Welcome, and thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you, thank you. Yes, I should point out that my wife is the lead artist and creative director of this game. Her name is Jacqueline. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Let's see how it looks. In German, we should still be in German. Oh, that'll be so cool if everything just works. Okay, so this is clearly the English version. And if I go to the etchery, we've got the full German, and then we go back here, and now it's in German, which is not ideal. Look at that. It almost looks like the map was made in German, except for this. It's so small. We're going to have to widen that text field. We're just going to have to widen it. We're just going to have to give tons of space there. This one is a huge field. It gets really big, but it's all right. You know, it works. It's so much better, again, than leaving it in English, I think. And fortunately, this word has a dash in it. Looks great. Yeah, it looks good. It looks like it was made in German. Sweet. So I'm just going to make sure that's actually 2 words and it's not actually just like cutting that word in half. And then this one, I will make that field wider. I don't know. It's just, I don't think it's great to just have the R popping down there. So let's go back into maps. Oh, we also have like a code problem of when you open the map, it's always in English to start. So we need to initialize it. Which should be pretty easy. Actually, the first thing I want to know, does the map have a memory of what map you were on? Because if it doesn't, it really should. That is just very annoying for people. Like if they leave it on the etchery and they open the map again, it should open directly to the etchery. They shouldn't have to go find the etchery again. So here we've got, now we're on the etchery, I exit out of it and I open it and it goes back to the world map. So I hate that. We definitely want to have some kind of memory. It doesn't have to persist over a save, but it really should at least persist between opening and closing, which shouldn't be too bad. Lopsy Lops asks, whereabouts in the world are you guys based? We live in Washington State, which is in the northwest corner of the United States of America. And it's getting very warm now and very nice out. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is, well, first of all, what the heck is this index here? Is given. It's interesting. Oh, that's for what map you're on. Huh. That's weird. So we already have an index. You would think we could just... Yeah, what was going on? Why doesn't it... I'm pretty sure if we just, like, on the start callback of this, if we just literally go, like, update map, I think that it'll do everything we want it to do. I think that it will actually already remember the index. Oh, no, it won't, because this is a private field. I believe this maps UI is actually on the object, which gets destroyed, I'm pretty sure, which is pretty inefficient because it has those massive textures on it, and I think those get garbage collected. I'm not 100% certain, but if that's the case, that is pretty shite. We might have to do something about that. But I will not do it now. That is definitely something that I will have Jenny do. Jenny is our lead programmer. She is on vacation right now. It's just me. And I really want to get this loc out as fast as possible. So I'm doing all this coding right now, and I haven't coded. I don't do a lot of coding these days, so I feel a little bit out of my element right now. Like I'm really missing Jenny because I feel like I'm just like not as sharp with everything anymore. Wombat says, I just read your guys' press kit. Love the 2023 release estimation. Oh shit, I should probably update that. What press kit says 2023? Link me to that press kit. Is it like, oh my God, I don't even know where it says that. I should probably update that. So, so the one thing I did want to do with the index, if I make this static, it would just work. Oh, but this is a problem actually. If someone loads a different save, then that will be a problem. So actually what I really want to do I think I want to go into the world states, or game manager would also work, but I'm pretty sure a game world state will definitely do the trick. Or at least the player data. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go player data here. Player data. And this will save the index. So here we have a hotbar cycle index. Let me do that as well. Let me make it non-serialized though. I don't want it serialized because I'm worried that when people try to load their games, that it will be like throw an error because it doesn't have this one freaking int in it. That would be annoying. I'm not sure if it would do that. One says on your websites. Okay. I could use the media to pretend I have the full game. Wait, I don't understand. Actually, there's some wrong stuff. Okay. And we've got media inquiries contacts should be updated. Actually, let me get Charlene's new email address. I'm going to BRB for that. Okay. You know, I'm trying to figure out if I should do my email media inquiries. I'll do Charlene's. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that stuff. And everything else is fine. Okay, that's enough of that. Cool. Fact sheet is improved. Good, good. Thank you for that, Wombat. Good to have that updated. Right, so I wanted to make this, I do need this to be public, but I don't want it to serialize. So it should just be like system.non-serialized public ints, and I'll call it like map index, and it will default to 0. And then in every instance of using this index, we're going to be using the one in player data. So we should get a bunch of errors now, and we can just do like player data dot map index. And now wherever we reference index, we should use player data dot map index. And I'm pretty sure that will work. You can never lose a map, so in that case, it might throw an error, but it seems all right. Okay, I think that that will give us all the behavior that we want. We wrote code. We did code. I'm all right with leaving coding behind. I used to think that I would really miss it, but I think I'll be okay. I do like coding, but you know, I'm okay at it, but Jenny is so much better at it, so why not? Why not let the best people do the work? Okay, cool. So that updated instantly, and it's opened first to the whisk map. And this is regression city. I'm a little scared. Like what if we didn't have the whisk map? What would happen? I don't know. So now is the world map. Let me close it on the Etri map. Press M. Look at that. So it's still opened to the whisk map. Don't love that. So now I'm on the world. I close it, M, and it opens to the whisk map. I got to figure out why it's doing that. It's not what we want. These are going to be left in English. Oh boy. Oh God. Someone's going to complain about that. Whatever. So let's look at the code. So we go to update map. And in update map, it asks what the map index is. And each index stands for a particular map. This is weird though, because this seems like it would only work. So something is changing this index, obviously. So the only time that happens is when you do a bumper press, which is never happening. This is for controller. So who else is writing to this? We got to find, because there's got to be someone writing to it. And yeah. So when is this changing? I don't really understand how this is happening. It's weird. Oh, the only thing that maybe, I think I understand. Okay, so because we're not using a bumper press at all, I think that the index is actually completely uninvolved in this. Just runs so we're never changing the index. Nobody's ever changing the index because we're never pressing a bumper. So I think what needs to happen is when we do the on click, we need to set the index. So maybe let's do that. And it seems like the on-click etchery map is index 2. And the world map, I think, is index 1. Yeah. And the whisk map is index 0. That should do it. Press M and it opens to the whisk map. I click, no errors, I exit, I open, it starts on the world map. I click on etchery, I close it, I open it, it's back on etchery. I click on a whisk, I close it, I open it, it's still on a whisk. Cool. Okay, I'll try it with a controller too. All right, so we've got, I don't think we ever did a, oh yeah, we did left bumper. Okay, so here we go. Cool. All right, it remembers now. That's interesting. We don't have a B for close or anything at the bottom. That's very peculiar. Also, M should close it again, which it doesn't at the moment. I don't know if I want to put that in though. See, I am just so much more likely to make a regression than Jenny. Like every time I do anything to the game, I'd say it has like a 30% chance to make a regression bug. Anytime Jenny does anything to the game, I would say it has a 5% chance. It's crazy, the difference. So that's everything I wanted for the map. The only thing that I didn't check is what's going on with, why didn't we have like some kind of B button? No, we literally just didn't have one. We don't have a B for close prompt on here. So let's go get one. We should have one in one of the readables. I also think that this close image, we've got this background here, right? Who has the background for that? Close button background. Should just be a little bit smaller there. And I think I can just put the close button inside of there and save that. And I'll call this like MK close button. Canaldo says, my dream is to make my own game someday. Where should I start studying? Well, it's a big question, you know, and I don't have all the answers, unfortunately. I don't have a hard fast, like, oh, you should definitely do this. I can only say from my perspective, I also wanted to make my own game someday, but I kind of just put that dream aside to first focus on one discipline. That's how I started. I knew I wanted to make my own game someday, and I've known that ever since I was 16. But when I was 16, I decided I want a career in games, and I first want to get a job because I thought that was more reasonable than like making my own game. Nowadays it's different because the indie scene is so much more like sort of flourishing. When I was young, at 16 years old, there weren't a lot of people just like starting game studios. It was sort of like starting a Walmart or something, you know, it was like starting a grocery store chain or something. It just wasn't a thing. So I decided that my favorite thing about games was the world that you get to be in, and I wanted to make that world. So I wanted to be an environment artist, which is a type of 3D artist that specializes in making buildings and furniture and nature and mountains and oceans and all the things that go into making the world. So basically, I wanted to be an artist, and then I did all my Googling and figured out what I should focus on to be doing that. And I made that my identity. I was like, wasn't like I am someone who wants to make a game. It was I am an environment artist. I am a 3D environment artist for video games. That was my identity. And that was the path that I was just like, doing everything within my power to get hired at that. And I ended up getting hired at, I think it was 18, at ArenaNet, making Guild Wars. And then I worked in AAA for a few years and saved a bunch of money. And then I decided that I would be crazy and try to make my own game. I'm kind of falling off the screen here. That was how I did it. That's not the only way to do it. I think it's also viable to focus on coding. But I do think it's most people who start their own indie game studio are very good at art or very good at coding. Very few of them are just like designers, I would say. And I think it's because you need production muscle, and production muscle is so expensive that it really helps if you start your studio when you are the production muscle, that you are the super high level world-class professional, the employee zero that can just roll their sleeves up and start making something really remarkable because you have such insane chops. I think that is usually how we see successful indie studios start, with a really badass programmer or a really badass artist. One of those. Those are the boots on the ground production skills. I think that the other skills sort of rely more heavily on other production skills, but those are the people who like make the check-ins, and to build the games. So, and depending on your game, it could be more programmer heavy or more art heavy. Obviously, eShade Studios games are more art heavy, and I'm an artist, and I just learned how to code to sort of get by. I want to get a B for close. So I've got to get some kind of readable here. And what kind of readable can I get? Come on, just any old readable. Oh, shopping. Nope, back to school. Come on. Supply list. There we go, enrollment supply list. Here we go. I'm going to pillage the B to close out of this. X mode close, copy, back to map. But really, I do not have all the answers for how to start. That's the golden question. Everyone's like, how to start? I don't know. Okay, B to close. And if I turn off the MK, I can't even see that. So we need some kind of background for this. Let's do image. Is that the image kind of component that was on this? Copy component. Paste component as new. There we go. Now we can kind of see. Okay. Still kind of hard to see. We'll make the text a little bit more black, and we'll make that tutorial button a little bit more black as well. And then I'll move it in from the edge a little bit more. I guess I'll make that background more opaque. Okay, now you can actually see it. Still looks a little ugly though. I will make it a little wider and a little taller, and then I'll move in that close button a little bit more. Okay. Save. Cauliflower says, was it difficult to risk and get out of stability and comfort zone of being employed and having a stable income? I shifted career once already from non-IT to software dev. And it was a similar mental challenge. However, moving from software dev to indie game dev feels much more challenging. It was a little bit scary to leave my job, but one, I was so excited to make my own game that it was like, I was like dying and going to heaven. Like I was so excited to start working on Eastshade every day. I was burning with excitement that like I felt like it almost didn't matter what happened to me after that. It's like whatever happens, I'm getting to do this thing. It's like if I die in 3 years because I'm living on the streets, whatever, man. Like I want to do this so bad. I'm literally just like burning and dying. Like the level of inspiration was completely insane. And I don't know if I'll ever feel like that. I mean, I have very powerful inspiration nowadays, but I don't know if it necessarily was as powerful as what I felt when I was really young and starry-eyed about making Eastshade. So I had that. But then the other thing, and this is really important, is I had this unbelievably high risk tolerance because I was just a kid and I didn't have children and I didn't have anyone depending on me and I didn't have a mortgage and I didn't have debt. So it's just like, all I had was savings and nobody depending on me for anything. So, and I was like 24, 23 or something. So it's just like, whatever, if I spend all my money, then okay, then I have no money. That's like most 24-year-olds have no money. And it's just like at worst case scenario, I just become a normal 24-year-old who needs to go get a job like everyone else. Everyone has to get a job. So that was the worst case scenario. Now I have a mortgage and now I have, 2 children, one almost here, but one child and one on the way. And we have a more expensive lifestyle. And so now it feels like I have everything to lose. Actually, now is way more scary. Way, 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 way more scary. Making Glimmerwick is, at this point, at year 7 in Glimmerwick's development, is the most scared I've ever been in my entire life. Like I've never been, even though I do think it's going to be okay, I'm just naturally kind of conservative. And this is so much scarier and riskier. And I feel like I'm crunching so much harder. I feel like I'm fighting for my life. And I feel like we have made the most insane bet ever. Actually, making Glimmerwick was way crazier than making Eastshade. Because making Eastshade, it was just, it was me and Jacqueline, and we had no kids, and we just had some savings, and we were just, living it up, and everything was easy, and everything was fine. And now it feels like failure is not an option anymore. And we spent so much more money to make Glimmerwick than we spent to make Eastshade. So it's really scary now, I would say. Wombat says, do you think your second child will put the release date back? We cannot put the release date back. We do not have enough money to put the release date back. So it's coming out when it's coming out. We have a month in mind, and that is when we will ship it. And we will do, as much as we can, and we will, work as hard as we can to make it as good as we can make it. But we don't have an option to push the release date back, even if we wanted to. But we already had one child, during the development, and it's been a long time. So it'll come out, it'll come out, and when we plan on it coming out, and there's no other option. My Fu Manchu says, I feel the same. Before I had kids, I worried less about possible failure. Yeah, for sure. Definitely increases your, it decreases your risk tolerance for sure. Are you also an indie dev, Mr. Fu Manchu? Just putting some stuff on here so that this doesn't show up when we're in Xbox mode. So I will test it out. the game in German. Okay, it's already in German. And then open my map. Oh, look at that. The text is overflowing, so we need to fix that. But other than that, it seems to be working. And then in mouse and keyboard mode, I'll open up M. Cool. And it's working. Everything's working. Hooray. Sweet. Similar, worked in AAA, and this year I'm trying the indie route full time. All right. Have we spoken before, Mr. Fu Manchu? Forgive me if I'm forgetting. We already spoke about this, but do you have a game that you're working on that you can show us? We want to see your game, but it's okay if it's unannounced. Okay. Roland Simmer asks, you are developing this alone? No, I'm not developing it alone. I work full-time on this game along with my wife, who also works full-time, along with one other programmer. So there's 3 full-time members, and then we have a few contractors as well, such as music and animation. Okay, so just that text field needs to be the close button needs to, oh, look, well, I mean, obviously that's going to be broken. Just expand it a little bit here. And yeah. It looks a little weird with it that wide, but it'll look better in other languages, and I don't think anyone will really care. Yeah, and it's already on auto size, so that's perfect. Save that. Solid State, hello and welcome back, says, what's your favorite way to get honest feedback on a playable prototype before investing more time into art and levels? We don't really do that. We don't really do the whole like test to see if it's going to be good, and then like, you know, should we invest more? We're kind of like a do or die sort of, like, this is the idea we're doing. We're going to finish it, and we're going to do it to the highest standard that we possibly can. And here we go. And we're so excited. That's kind of the way that we do it. And I think it works for us because the kinds of games we make, and how much art muscle we have, we're able to make games that just, you know, like I always say, like, a screenshot is the pitch. You know, we show people a screenshot, and it just, it makes people feel stuff. And so that kind of works for us, but we don't do the early testing. Should we even continue with this game prototype sort of thing? Because we have a world first design. We build the game world. And if the game world's not good, we just keep working on it until it is. And once the game world is really, really good, and we just love being in the world, then we, you know, add the game loops that will give people a reason to be there and have the progress and the sort of game state changing and all that stuff. Very backwards way from the way most people design games. Very unusual. I have not heard of anyone doing it that way. I think we might be the only studio in the world who does it that way. It's very backwards and unnatural from the way that most game designers would want to make their game, I think. But it is really hard to know if your game is good until very late in development. At least that's what we found. Because our games aren't really games that prototype very well. You know, they're very like, with a world first design, you need a game world that like just blows people away and people want to be there. You can't really prototype that very easily. Mr. Fu Manchu says the game, it's something I've been working on since 2012. All right. During free time, but all those years I was working on some tech I need for the game. Now this year, the plan is to actually create some gameplay prototype and gauge interest. All right, exciting. Very cool, Mr. Fu Manchu. Well, I wish you the best with it. Roland Simmer says, I just saw your video like 1.5 years ago about another game you and your wife did. All right. Yeah, we've got East Shade was our last game, and now we're working on Songs of Glimmerwick. Rahara Starbane, thank you very much for the kind words. Appreciate that. And thank you for playing the demo. Thank you, thank you. Mr. Fu Manchu says, I don't have a link yet, but the short version is, it's a space-based game. Very cool. You have your own spaceship and any in-game computers like your ship's computer, are full simulated tiny computers. Now I need to come up with some retro programming game loop that is fun. Very cool. That sounds really exciting, Mr. Fu Manchu. It's really cool. De Ukalian, hello, welcome. All good, Rahar. Thank you just for downloading the demo. I appreciate that. Roland Simmer, thank you. You can actually play it for free. We have a demo on Steam if you want to give it a peek. It's very well received. People are really liking it. Okay, so let's test the map to see if our UI change improved. All right. Thank you, Rahara. Appreciate that support. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We love it. Okay, so now the close button looks perfectly good. All right, sweet. Hell yeah. Awesome. Why is that B capitalized? Oh, well, it's not a B. It's so stupid. Oh, God. I have Germans in the chat for sure. We're just like, wow. Okay, that is a lowercase letter though, right? Yeah, that's... Shall I... Let me just make sure my glyphs are correct here. Shall I... Okay, that is how it looks even in Google Docs. Obviously, Google Docs font is not incorrect, so that is how it's supposed to look. Okay. All right. Mr. Fu Manchu says, I have most of the computer parts sorted. I can simulate thousands of computers per server, have a custom tool chain. Very cool. Wow. That sounds awesome. That sounds like just the type of thing that will, it's real, it's made from the heart. It's homegrown, that's the kind of stuff we need more of. So I hope that it knocks people's socks off. Rahara says, I will say that the controls for getting things out of the chest in the room were a bit confusing to me. Gotcha. Are you playing with mouse and keyboard or controller? Mr. Fu Manchu says, I even have proof of concept, default operating system for the ship's computer. That's amazing. That's super cool. Mouse and keyboard. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, there's a little bit of friction. It's not a friction-free game. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to do is there is this one other issue. So I fixed this, fix that, fix that. Did not fix that. I don't know what that is. We're gonna have to give that to Jenny. We're gonna have to inspect that. All right, so this is not the playtest. Everything is good here. Here is the playtest, and I hope that these are out of date, but I'm about to find out. So this is the Spanish, yeah. Okay, so let me launch the game in Spanish and see if we have these issues. I'll just try setting it to Spanish right away. Okay. Could be, but it also could be the game. It's hard to know with these things sometimes. All right, so let's change the game into Spanish keyboard mode. So let's do Spanish keyboard layout. Oh, that's the, yeah. This is weird. Why do these flip positions? Ugh, I could have sworn I flipped them. I'm so confused. Well, I'm gonna have to inspect that in a second. Oh, we got that no translation issue. to fix that too. Okay, anyhow. Okay, we're in Spanish mode. Now I want to go to... Oops, we've got a... This is a bug. That's a bad bug. I don't know what happened there. Let's go to our songbook. Okay, yeah, so we do have a missing glyph here. So we're going to have to look at the Spanish keyboard to see what that is. I really thought that we had solved all these problems. Apparently not. Let's go see what that little sound was. First of all, I want to thank Ray VLR for the follow. I missed you 8 minutes ago if you're still around. And Mr. Fu Manchu, thanks very much for the follow. Appreciate that. Art Berklaus, thank you so much for the raid. Really appreciate that. Hello, everyone. Let me see, was an Art. I know Art Berklaus. I recognize the name. You're a fellow developer, right? We're coming from a development stream, game dev stream. Is that right? Roland Simmer asks, will the game be available in Hungarian? Unfortunately, Hungarian did not make our list of languages. We did 7 languages. It was actually a lot for a game as big as Glimmerwick, because Glimmerwick has over 100,000 words. And unfortunately, Hungarian was not quite big enough. We only hire professional localizers for the localization. It's just sort of we decided, we're not doing any fan translations or, player translations. It's risky in many ways, but I appreciate that. Yeah, it's more. 100,000 words is more than a novel. It's like 1.5, 2 novels. It's really hard. It's a lot of work. It's like maybe hundreds of hours of work, really. It's not an easy thing to do. Okay, let's see here. All right. Yeah, I feel like I've checked out your Twitch channel as well, Art Berkless, if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm following you because I saw you were live right before I went on here. So it's going. We're coming to the end here. The game's called Songs of Glimmerwick. It's a Witch Academy RPG where the magic of the world is music, and we released our demo about a month ago, and it went really well. We were on the front page of IGN. And we got 20,000 wish lists since that point. And people are really liking the demo. And now we're on the home stretch, hoping to launch. We're going to launch in 2026. So yeah, we're working our butts off, crunching for our lives here. Thank you. Okay, so looking at the key mappings. I'm going to type in keyboard. We're doing localization right now, by the way, guys. It's not in-game keyboard. It's keyboard language defaults. So this is the piece of data I'm looking at, and I'm looking at the Spanish, and I'm looking at all the different keys. And I want to find the one that doesn't have. Seems like all of them have a key code file name. So what is it looking for that it's not finding a sprite, I'm wondering. It's very strange. Because we have to get that key code. Yeah. Got to get that little white key. Let's go see what that is. Okay. No, not this one. All right, so going to our songbook, clicking here. So here's the key that we don't have. So I'm gonna pause the game and let's take a look at that white key. What key did you try to find? So it just says none, unfortunately. It doesn't actually tell us what key it wanted to find, which is very annoying. How can we get it to tell us? I want to know exactly what key it searched for. Key shower. Okay, so what does the key shower do? The key shower loads. Here's where it tries to load the sprite. Get resource binding replacement name. So if it can't find one, this is interesting. So it's doing this and then it's just silently failing, I guess. What is this false? Oops. Let's check out this key shower. Oh my god, it's so hot in this room. Let me open my window real quick. It's like 1,000 degrees in here. It's got to be a semicolon, right? Not necessarily, because it's a Spanish keyboard. And I would just want to know the exact string that it's looking for. So I'm going to check out this key shower. Yeah. Unfortunately, many countries have their own keyboards. Most people don't know. A little nightmare that most people can live their whole lives without having to know. But unfortunately, this dark knowledge haunts me because it makes my life absolutely miserable. It wasn't an issue on eShade because the control scheme for eShade was so simple, but Glimmerwick is not so simple. There's a lot of keys because we got the flute buttons. So I've got key shower checked out, and now I just want to check what this false is doing. Let's see. PS4 prefix. So I just have to imagine this is just happily getting a null. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do debug.log. I just want you to log. Well, first of all, if image.sprites is null, and I think that it will be, then I want you to log this keys dark, just so we know the exact path here. And this is returning a string? Yeah, I want you to pull that string again. Whatever you tried to load, tell me exactly what you tried to load there. Okay. And I hope that that does the trick. It's the only place that it's actually mapping a sprite, so I have to imagine that that's doing it. Update image. Player action. So player action is being set. It's possible the player action is... Oh, you would think that the key shower would give us a clue about the player action. This is about to throw a bunch of nulls because we've just recompiled in the middle of the game. Boolean, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. I appreciate that your name is spelled like a loaf of bread. I really like bools. All right, folks, anyone who's new to the stream, we are working on localization. And at the moment, we are working on the fact that everybody's keyboard is different. That a Spanish keyboard does not have the same keys in the same order as an English keyboard. Actually, even a UK keyboard is different from an American keyboard or a North American keyboard. Hello, hello. Wow, it's taking a long time to compile. I don't even think that Unity is going to come back from this. It's taken so long that I think it's going to crash, would be my guess. I don't usually compile in play mode. I just kind of forgot that I was in play mode. So I think a lot of very bad things are about to happen, unfortunately. And also, if you're new to the stream, we are working on a video game called Songs of Glimmerwick, where the magic of the world is music. It's a Witch Academy RPG. And we have a demo out right now. Wombat asks if I saved. I think that everything is saved, yeah. Because I was working on a bunch of different things, and I think that they've all been individually saved. So hopefully it'll be okay. Oh my God, I cannot fathom how long this is taking. Just stop. Just stop trying to do it. Just give up. You know you can't. Just give up right now. Good Lord. Yeah, I don't think it's coming back. I really don't. This is completely ridiculous. It's been like it's been a really long time. Oh man, it sucks. It sucks. It really sucks. Okay, it says it's still going. It's using a lot of memory. It's actually not using that much. It's not even trying that hard. Just give up then if you're just gonna just die. Okay, that sucks. All right. Whoa, what are you opening? Did I accidentally click on SOG here? Hopefully. I think I can. I think I can. No. I know you can't. I know you can't. All right, now we're opening Unity again. It's going to take 12 years. I don't even know if we're opening the right project because I don't even remember clicking on SOG. So for all I know, we're opening Eastshade 2018. It's going to take a very long time. It's going to be a Q&A session if anyone has any questions. Compiling assembly definition file scripts. I feel like I've never seen that before. Because it's going to be like 10 minutes before we can actually get back to work here. My God. My God. Well, maybe I can organize this change list. That shouldn't mess anything up. I can maybe put all this stuff in localization work. Move to another loc work. Okay. So this is a font. Wow, we got a lot of books and notes here. Oh, those are all the mementos. Okay, let's move to another change list. I'm gonna move to loc work. Okay, all the mementos we can move to. Actually, I'll do the loc sheet as well. Let's move this to reminiscing room work. Okay. Appearance UI. This is all loc work, all this stuff. I'm pretty sure. Maybe just like revert if unchanged. Okay, a couple things got reverted in there. And then here's a bunch more mementos. That was all map stuff. So this one's going to go into reminiscing room. You still opening? Okay, finally finished. Okay. Yes, it crashed. Very annoying. I feel very annoyed. Okay, did you actually compile? I don't even know. We did save that key shower, so let's see if it's actually going to print our little message now that should tell us exactly what key it's searching for that it feels like it can't find. All right. Okay, we're in Spanish. That's what we want. And there we go. Okay, so here now it did. So it printed this key underscore n tilde that it did not have. So I'm going to go see why it feels like it can't find that key. Did we not make it? What's the deal? Type in language, keyboard language defaults. And looking at the Spanish, there's N. Wait. No. Okay, so this is the key code name, and here's the key code file name, which is N tilde. And did we actually make an N tilde? N dash tilde. We do have an N tilde, so I'm wondering why. It's key underscore N tilde, and it was searching for key underscore N tilde. Those are exactly the same, and there's one in keys dark, key underscore N tilde. So why did you not find a key? Did not find the key. Clearly it didn't find the key, and it was the only one that didn't find it, because otherwise we would have got a log for all the others. We got a log for this one 1,000,000 times. So clearly it could not find the key. Why could it not find the key? The only thing I can think of is if we didn't name it correctly. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sprite 2D and UI. It's not a sprite. We didn't set the correct import settings. Oh my god. Why? Okay. 2D, generate physics shape. So now we should have everything. Oh my gosh. Is that all it was? Is that all it was? It's so stupid. But at least it wasn't something deeper. Like there's an issue with the way that we were replacing the keys. Oh man. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. There it goes. It works. All right, we fixed it. We fixed it. That was the stupidest bug in the world, but it was our bug. And it was my bug. I made that bug. It's always me. It's always me. It's always my fault. Never anyone else's fault. Sometimes it's Jacqueline's fault, but it's never Jenny's fault. It's always my fault. Okay, here we go. So that should be fixed. Now let me look at the log sheet. So this one is related to that bug, and this one also should be related to that bug. And I can see if I copy this image and paste it, like, I don't know, in Photoshop or something, because it's such a tiny baby image, I can't even see it. So you're not going to paste, I don't know, man. I'm just going to expand it. Sprites, it's key underscore back quote is the key that it's looking for, which I don't know if that's going to map. Let's look at the language settings, and we might just have to test it to make sure. But looking at that N tilde, yeah, back quote, key code back quote, I think it's going to work fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the game to day 0 start anywhere, which is kind of like the beginning of the game, but it will make it so that it doesn't play the opening cinematic, and so I can place the player wherever I want in the world to start. I'm also going to turn off the UI because I can't see what I'm doing with all that shite in the way. So let's place our player character. Welcome to Glimmerwick, everybody. The expansive world of Glimmerwick. As you can see. Oh, why is my Steam up? Oh yeah, I can't. I'm not going to be able to close my Steam. Okay, where'd my player go? There we go. Let's place the player over by Bristlecone's house. And then we should be able to test this really quickly because it starts on day 0. We won't have to do any of the other hoopla. So let's give it a go. Okay. In we go. Oh no, we're not gonna. You know what? I should have a save. I bet I have a save for this exact moment. Here we go. Bristlecone meat. I'm pretty sure that's the save, even though this is not bristlecone meat. This is get flute. That's what it should be called. Oh man. This localization has been so much more work than I scheduled. It always goes like that. No matter what you do, everything is always so much more work than you think it's going to be. It's always like 5 times as much. And I've done localization for a big game before. You know, Eastshade was 70,000, 60,000 words, something like that. 60,000, I think it was. Okay, here we go. Okay, he's giving me the flute. R. Yeah, it works. It works. It's kind of a chunky font. I don't know, it just looks chunkier than the others. I don't know. But I don't care. It's fine. It works. All right. Wombat says, have you personally tested doing the flute on controller versus keyboard? I ask because on keyboard it's super easy, but I feel on controller it's much harder. Yes, I always play the game. The last big playtest I did that took me about 20 hours, I did with controller. And I can get 100% on the songs with the controller, and it is absolutely harder. And we knew that. I mean, this, of course, you know, we would never implement something without testing. It's not even possible to implement something without testing it. So we've, you know, extensively played the game with controller, and we know the music mini game is just way harder with controller. It just is. It's just way easier with keyboard. And, you know, we don't have a solution for that. I mean, of course there are solutions for it. You could like literally change the songs. You could change the amount of notes you have to press with controller versus keyboard, but nothing that isn't an insane amount of work. And we felt like the music mini game was easy enough with controller. One of the big issues is the Xbox controller, which is the most popular controller. This is an Xbox 360 controller, but the D-pad for most Xbox controllers, and I think it's pretty bad even with the Xbox One, the D-pad is dog shit. And it's like it's really easy to accidentally press the wrong key. So I wonder if it feels better on a better controller. Like I wonder if it feels better on the PlayStation controller or one of the aftermarket controllers or something. Maybe the Steam controller. But yeah, I know, it sucks. I don't know what to do. Well, I mean, there's things we could do. We don't have money and time for it, so we just have to go with it. And I'm sure that people are gonna gut us like a fish over it. But I'm just hoping that really the music mini game is such a small part of the game. It's like people don't realize that, and they just get rat holed on the music. They could just get stuck on the music mini game. When we have said so many people, we've had at least 20 people say, "I'm stuck. I can't get past the music mini game. It's too hard," or whatever. And it's crazy because there's absolutely nothing they're not actually stuck. They just assume that they can't continue, and they actually can. They don't ever have to play the music mini game. You could beat the whole game without even playing the music mini game, except for the tutorial. It's the only one you have to do, and you don't have to do anything. You could just let it play out for 2 minutes and not even touch a button, and then say, yeah, okay, and never touch the game again. The music mini game again. So we didn't want to prioritize that and put more money into that and not put money into the other things that I think is the reason why people like the game, which is all the quests and the game world and stuff. So we're spending the rest of our time making sure, you know, that all those quests are in and that they hopefully aren't going to break and stuff. Yeah. But you can remap it to whatever you want. So you don't have to use the D-pad. You can remap it to other keys. All right, Mr. Fu Manchu, thank you for dropping by. Hope you sleep well. But we'll see. I mean, I know we are going to get rickrolled on the farming controls. People are going to complain. There are certain things, you know, that we already know. It's going to be the farming controls, and people are going to just like the amount of hate and complaining that we'll get. I don't mean that in like a dysphomistic way. I just mean like the amount of negative feedback we will get from the music mini game is extremely significant. Like it's going to be a big thing. It seems to be very polarizing, and there seems to be almost nothing we can do to let people know that it's not an important part of the game. Like, I mean, we put more messaging in, so hopefully that'll help a little bit, but we'll just see. We just have to hope that the other stuff is enough. But yeah, there's certain things that you just kind of know by the time you ship, you know, you learn some stuff, and it's too late, man. Like, it's too late. We can't go and redo it and stuff. You know, if we wanted to spend another $500,000 on the game, maybe we could do it, but would it even be worth it? That's the other thing, is like, you might even make your game worse. In this case, I'm fairly confident there are some things we could do to the music mini game that would definitely make it better. But it's just, you know, not how we're prioritizing things. Wombat says, in the scheme of things, it's easy. It's still as easy on controller. I just noticed the controller because it's not linear. It's a bit more. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. It's significantly more difficult. I still think it's easy enough. At least it's easy enough for me. It's going to be impossible for some other people. Seems to be an insanely massive skill gap. You know, it's funny. Whenever you do something new in your game, the skill gap shows itself, and people are way less tolerant of the skill gap than they would be in an established genre, like in an FPS. The skill gap in FPS is so insane. Like, people who don't play FPS suck, like so bad, like incomprehensibly bad. Like it's like unplayable. They literally cannot even kill a single dude. You would never, ever, ever be able to make a game that accommodates those people and people who have been like playing Counter-Strike for 15 years or whatever. But people don't really complain. They don't really, you know, play an FPS and be like, oh, this game is, you know, you just don't hear it, because I think people kind of know at this point what an FPS is, and there's certain expectations of the difficulty level of an FPS. But when you're doing something super weird and new, like a rhythm game in the middle of an RPG farming sim, then people, you know, they come for one thing, and then I think it's harder. 10 Corrado, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. All right, so, oh, hell yeah. So that's fixed. That's fixed. We fixed that one. And this one is a new bug that I haven't seen. So we'll have to take a look at that. Okay, hell yeah. Dude, this is awesome. That's like all the loc. Oh, I'm so happy about that. Okay, I need to have a coughing fit. All right. Hello, Ten Corrado. Welcome. Wombat says, I made the joke in the Discord, but it's honestly Flute Guitar Hero as a minigame. Yeah, it is. It is. But not as good as Guitar Hero, because, you know, it's not all we focused on. As for the fishing game, it's basically the same as Lens Island. Oh, interesting. Oh, it's a rhythm game in Lens Island too, huh? Mute coughing got me out of guard. What does it mean? Thought you're dying. Oh, yeah, no, I just don't want to blow people's eardrums out. I'm not dying. Okay, so we've got the reminiscing room. I'm gonna do, let's get into that. So let's put us in developer start settings, and then let's head over to our little reminiscing room. We've got some more UIs to do. Just want to get that done. I really want to finish the reminiscing room before my second child is born. That would be awesome. don't want to be in the delivery room thinking about how I didn't finish the reminiscing room yet. Thank you. Appreciate that. Tenkarado. Okay, so let me turn on the test tools. And here we go, reminiscing room, perfect. So let's see what UIs we already have. I know we have a lot of them. Fern, book, open, prefab. Okay. Got a couple here. I think we have all the placeholders in, so I'm pretty sure like Nessa's music box is going to be placeholder. So let's change the layers to show. Cool. All right, so now we need to open our concept for Nessa's music box. So change the paper background to Nessa's music box. There we go. Perfect. Got all these stars in there, and I think we're not going to do that with texture. If anything, we should do that with UI elements. It's going to be kind of annoying to place them all around. Anyway, I think we should make this a little smaller. And then we'll take those mouse and keyboard buttons and X mode buttons. I'm just going to move them up a little bit. We'll take that drop shadow behind everything and make it a little smaller. For a background like this that is sort of not a perfect square, I'm going to change it to a different kind of gradient. I'm going to change it to a radial. Actually, and I will make it maybe even bigger now, but it's going to be much softer. Okay, cool. Well, that says, remember, you can walk around behind that door. Wait, really? I don't remember that. You must mean Mara Wild's door. Let's take a look. Is it with the... Oh, is it like that? Oh, okay. Let's see. Where is my avatar right now? Okay. So she's... Oh, okay, okay, I see. All right. Let's look at the collision. Let me fix that right now. Thank you, Wombat. So just leaving play mode, hoping it doesn't crash. And then let's take a look at the collision here. So we should have, I'm imagining some kind of wall right here. It's so hard to find the walls. Okay, I'll just select all the Mara Wild walls there. So we have the wall somewhere. So it's one of these. So it looks like it's this one. So let's exit out of that and edit the poly shape. I don't really necessarily need people going behind this anyway. So I don't actually know what's stopping people from running into this, because that seemed to have collision on it. Okay, we'll go like that. I don't know if people need to be walking into all of this either. So let's just put collision on that. And then I think I'm just going to expand the wall. Oops. Yeah, I think I'm going to expand the wall to cover this bush as well. There we go. Okay, that should be better. And then I'll take a look at the collision on this. So I don't see... Oh, there is a mesh collider. Huh, let's turn on convex. There we go. I bet that's going to do a much better job of keeping people not being able to just walk through that. Let's see if Marrowild House already has... Nope, it doesn't, so that solves that. I hear my baby crying. I'm going to go see if he needs help. Be right back. Okay. He stubbed his toe. Okay, so let's take a look at how the collision feels now. Okay, so we can't get anywhere near as close to the house anymore. And we can't, oh, we can walk through this tree, which is probably not ideal. So I will expand it to accommodate that. And now, in terms of walking into this door, seems like we can't use this debug door anymore. So I'm gonna have to move. I'm gonna have to move the trigger for that so that we can actually use it. It's D Dennis Osger, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate that. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, you would think you would be able to. Why can we really not get that close? That's crazy. Okay, I'll just move it closer here. There. Surely we should be able to use it now. It's really just for debug purposes anyway, so it's not that big a deal. I'll just make sure that it still works. And then we'll get back to making that UI. I really want to finish out all the UIs so that we can test them all today. Oh man, really? Like why? Why wouldn't we be able to? This is very odd. Like there's no way that there's a collision going out this far. So I'm wondering what is stopping the player from getting this close. It's like look at where this is. How am I possibly not entering that? Oh, okay, so I have to click on it? That's weird. That's weird. All right, so it was probably working all along. Oh, this room looks so dope. It is one of the best looking rooms in the game. Really excited about that. Amazing. All right, so I'm leaving play mode now, and we just want to continue working on all those UIs for all these different objects. And this entry, I guess you just have to click to make it work, which is fine, whatever, who cares? It's just a test tool anyway. Go ahead and save everything. And go back to that music box. Cool. All right, so here's the image. Let's get that image, and then let's open up the Photoshop file for it. We're gonna have to check it out because we've got to do something about these stars because we can't just let them chill like that. I chose not to include the stars, so I'm gonna have to make like a little tiny texture of it and like, I don't know, place them around or something. Anyway. We'll get rid of all these. And we'll just do our own stars. It should be pretty easy. Get rid of these. Okay. D. Denizaz says, do you rotate the camera? If 2D entities as billboards, it should be fine, I guess. No, it is a fixed camera game because let me grab this string real quick. Yeah. God, it's not getting the bottom replaced, sure. Okay. Yeah, it's fixed camera because we use like a really mixed workflow where like this, a lot of buildings are projected. See, we have this proxified 3D mesh. And then, so they're not really billboards per se. They don't rotate toward the camera. They're all just fixed planes. And then like in the city, we have all these 3D meshes and stuff. So it wouldn't work if we could rotate. The world is completely designed from one very specific angle. which is liberating from a design perspective. All right, so now let's go to that Nessa music box, and we have this inspect text UI that is always a little bit taller than it needs to be, so I'm gonna just cover the buttons there is all we need, and then we'll grab the close buttons here and move them up, put them at the bottom here, and in the text field I'm going to paste our note Nessa. I'm going to put the markup for a line break. I'll actually put 2 line breaks in there. And I think that that's it, looking at the Photoshop file. Yeah, actually she does not do a line break, but I think it's clear when we have 2 line breaks in there, so that works. Okay, so then I'm going to copy that entire string, Control C, and I need to paste it in our loc sheet. And let's go all the way to the bottom where we have all the reminiscing lines. Go ahead and paste that string. Oh, it has a next line. No, we don't want that. We don't want that. Let's make sure we don't do that. So it looks like there was like an enter in here. Let me delete. Nothing happens. Good. Perfect. Okay. Now I'll copy the string again. We really don't want any new lines. Okay, cool. And then it should be rem Nessa note, I think, tab. And we'll get this little context. Paste that tab. Okay. Oh, Denizaz, thank you so much. That is some very kind words right there. My goodness. Thank you. Don't even know what to say. That's amazing. Yeah, my wife does all the, she's the lead artist and she does all the illustrations for everything. And then I'm kind of like a tech director, I guess, for the art pipeline and the lighting and all that, and how we build it all with the Proxify 3D meshes. Okay, so that looks good with the text. We just need to make sure we're pulling the correct one. So that's rem Nessa note. Actually, it really should be Nessa music box. So change that there. Save. Oh, I do want to turn off the inspect first. Save. And we have some more work to do because we got to get rid of these or add these little sparkles as well. I also didn't do a good job of cleaning up all these sparkles. They're hard to see on the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a background below this and just flood fill it with a dark tone. Now it's really easy to see where our issues are here. So just to erase all these. Erase that and that and that. Okay, and then let's turn off that. Okay, do we really need the sparkles? I don't even know what the sparkles do. I don't think I like the sparkles. I think I'm going to leave them off for now. If Jacqueline really wants them, then we'll put them back. But we'll see how we go without them, you know, minimum viable product here. I will, it does seem like the backgrounds could be a little bit bigger and maybe just a little bit softer in how much it darkens. We could go a little bit lower too. Oops. We'll move all this stuff up a little bit. Something like that. All these UIs probably going to have another adjustment pass, unfortunately. Anyway, that one's done. Nessa music box. Okay, wedding invite. Here we go. So let's set it to the correct texture. Wedding invite. Oh, this is a big one. Just make it a little bit smaller. It's supposed to be like a little card. And then we'll bring up all those buttons, X mode and MK buttons up here. And then we've got this background that we will just shrink much better. And then we got to copy all this text into the inspect text. Yeah, we've got to check that out and save it. Wombat says, I've been wondering, is one of your monitors on a weird angle? Because you always tilt your head to look at stuff. So I tilt my head to look at stuff. And I don't know if this habit, if I actually got this from my mentor, did the same thing when I was 18. He was really the one that first taught me a lot of 3D stuff. And he would always tilt his head when he was looking at the art or whatever he was doing. I don't think I got it from him. I think I just naturally do it too. But basically, I'm just getting the big read is what we call that. Or we call it the squint test. And for some reason, tilting my head and squinting allows me to sort of cleanse my palate or something. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but that's why I tilt my head when I look at stuff. At least when I look at the thing that I'm working on, I tilt my head like this. I'm just trying to reassess. Yes. Duke22 says, ew, Unity. Yeah. I like Unity. I like the engine. The company, I don't know, not so much. Okay, so let's grab the, let's see how much text we can get out of here by just going to the texture. Okay. Oh man, there's so many different fonts. Okay, well, let's ignore that one. Oh, was that little... We're not going to be able to put that in. That's fine. Place. Let's get all... This one at least we can do. Okay, cool. Undo, undo, undo. Very nice. Super leafy font is really cool. But now we've got to put on the inspect text, and it doesn't need to be so tall. Just going to shrink it as much as I can. And then I'll take this, these close buttons. I just like them to be on the bottom now. I don't like them to be under. I just don't need to be underneath it. And then I like to paste the text into the text box just to make absolutely certain that that everything is going well. So it looks like the whole thing is centered in the reference. So we'll do the whole thing centered here. And I'll paste what we've got. So see, all the font is kind of collapsing over the top of itself. That's because we have new lines. Don't know what it is about pasting new lines from Photoshop that does this, but it seems to break everything. So we do want to put in some line breaks in there. Seems like we have a few more. Are thrilled. So it starts with are thrilled. I don't know. A couple in there somewhere. There's got to be somewhere. Maybe reunion. Well, we'll see. There's got to be one more line break. It's got to be right here. Okay. And now we'll do BR. BR. So we have one more somewhere, but where is it? Celebrate their union. Celebrate their union. So we got the line breaks out of that one. And then as students, and then all are welcome. I don't really understand where the line break. There's some other line break here. Let me paste it into the text editor here. We'll find it. There it is. I don't know why there's a line break right there, but we'll get rid of it. Should all just be one line. Perfect. Okay. Now we've also got the title, which is Mary and Antoine. So we're going to do Mary. And we'll do line break. BR and Antoine. Whoops. What am I doing here? And then we'll do another 2 line breaks at least. Mary and Antoine. And what we'll do as well is we'll make the size of that Mary like 200%. And then we'll also make the size of the Antoine 200%. The size of the and will be, I'm thinking 90%. We'll do 100. And then the size of the text here will be back to 100%. There. Now it looks at least more like the invitation card. Of course, the Russian will go all the way down to here, I imagine. Hopefully the Russian doesn't expand beyond. Mary will be like this long. No, I'm pretty sure that should at least should be short. The BR, I wonder if we did the size 100% before the break, would that actually change the size of the break? No, it doesn't. Okay, it doesn't matter. So either way, we've got a certain break size, right? It didn't change the size. No, it doesn't. Okay. All right, that looks good. Maybe for this one, I just want to make it a little bit slimmer. And it's really cool that we can change the formatting per readable here. I'm thinking these are actually a little too big. Let's just go like 160. A little bit more sane, 160. Okay, Duke22 says, the tools you are using are a nightmare to me. LOL, starting from the OS, the Adobe products and Unity, but at the end, they're just tools. What matters is the hard work. Good luck. Yeah, it'll be all right. Also, the tools I'm using are battle tested. You know, sometimes people talk about Unity like there's options. Man, there's only 2 commercial game engines, Unreal and Unity. Then there's a massive, 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 like 1,000-mile gap. And then there's every other commercial game engine. There are no commercial game engines that are even on the same plane of existence as Unreal and Unity. So it's either Unreal or it's Unity. Then there's a huge gap, and then there's everything else. It's not like we're drowning in commercial game engines here. I'm going to set this so it doesn't, in the event that the text is so obscenely long in the localization that it gets all the way down here, at least it won't get to the bottom. Okay. Wedding invites. Ahara says Godot and Unity are it. That's interesting. You don't include Unreal in there. I think Unreal is very battle tested at this point. Many games, you know, thousands of games have shipped on Unreal. Godot is not battle tested. There's hardly any games. I mean, you can like count on 2 hands the commercial games that have shipped with Godot. It's really nothing yet. I mean, I'm not saying that there won't be. Once we finish this game, we're definitely going to try Godot. I'm excited about it. I hope that the performance is good, that the 3D performance is good, but we'll test that. And that would be cool. It'd be cool to go open source. I'm excited about Godot. But yeah, it's not, we don't know if it's there yet. I mean, the commercial crowd has not arrived yet to Godot, so we don't really know. I thought Unreal was just for environment engineering. No, Unreal is like tons and tons and tons of games. It's definitely the second most popular game engine in the world right now, at least in the premium world. Wombat says, I was honestly just thinking about that, like, What are you meant to do about it? Yeah, with the tools, right? There's not that many options. I mean, Photoshop I've just been using forever. Like there are other things at this point. But yeah, I've never liked Photoshop, but it's just what everyone uses, so. Unreal games are so bad with the performance. So what is good, Duke22? If Unity is a nightmare and Unreal games have bad performance, what is the magical engine that is better than those? What commercial engine is better? You don't, because to me, there are no engines in the same weight class as those two. Godot users are too cultish. I can't stand it. What's left? What's left, Duke? Oh, that's someone else. That's a solid hoot. Okay, gotcha. I thought just because it was the red YouTube symbol. Gotcha. Hopefully, Duke22. I think all that's left would be Godot. Yeah. There's not very many battle-tested commercial game engines. Don't use an engine, just bare metal APIs, maybe some libraries. That's very brave. Well, I commend you. Good luck. It's hard to ship a game. Have you shipped a game, Duke22? It's hard to ship a game when you start from the metal. I feel like that's like wanting to build a house, but you're starting from like mining the ore to make your first hammer, you know? I mean, it's possible, and I think it's cool, and I think, you know, yeah, it's a worthy endeavor. It's exciting. It's unfortunately for me, I don't have enough years in my life. I could definitely get into that, but I'm way too excited about making games to start from the metal. Folks, I'm going to be right back. Sometimes I feel like not being a programmer's programmer, being that I just learned programming in the context of Unity, gives me an advantage in that I don't lament. I feel like some programmers are so picky about the way they want things done that they like can't use any other tools. And it sort of means that they just have to make everything themselves. And sometimes I feel like it's a disadvantage when it comes to actually shipping games. Sort of just work. I mean, just kind of working the way the tool wants me to work is part of what I've done my whole life, because I've been using, you know, used the Guild Wars engine at ArenaNet. It was proprietary, so it's just they had a way that we do things, and that's just the way I did it. And if that didn't fit my particular workflow as an artist, it doesn't matter. I just have to learn, you know, the way that it wants me to do it. And then the same thing again when I went and worked at Future Poly, the outsourcing company for Undead Labs. I worked on a game called State of Decay. We used CryEngine, and of course CryEngine has a certain way that it wants you to do everything. The biggest limitation with CryEngine for us was the fact that it only supported one UV channel, and that was like crazy for us as environment artists. We were really used to, especially a lot of the people worked there came from ArenaNet, and we were very used to using multiple UV channels for stuff. Just wasn't the way we do it. So we just figured out other ways to do it. Then again, working at Sucker Punch on the proprietary engine, you know, Sucker Punch's proprietary engine for Infamous Second Son, you know, there's just certain things that had been decided by the technical directors and the art leads there, and that's just how you do it. And it's no different for Unreal and Unity. You just try to kind of work the way you want it to. Although I would say Unity is the most open game engine I've ever used. It doesn't make that many assumptions, and it's crazy extensible. So it would be hard for me to imagine really, you know, feeling like Unity was shackling me in any significant way. But maybe it's different from a coder perspective. All right, so I'm going to see what this looks like. Oh, right, we need to make sure that the localization is pulling the correct ID. It is not, or it is, but we didn't actually build the I didn't actually put it here. So I'm just adding a new row, and then we need to copy. Oh, oops, undo that. Okay, let's copy the string we've made, paste it in there, save that. Perfect. Now we should be done. Limited by tools sometimes even helps creativity. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, every artist says that. Sometimes limitations inspire creativity. Wombat says this kind of stuff reminds me about Samsung users who dump on you for owning an iPhone. Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good fun. Duke22 says, currently I'm using Godot and it's dope. All right, glad you like it. It has everything you need. It seems to, as far as I can tell, everything I'd need, I think. I wish they were focusing a little bit more, very selfishly, I wish they were focusing a little bit more on baked GI, on baked lighting. Seems like they're really focusing a lot on real-time GI, and that scares me. But the Light Baker is okay. It doesn't look as good as I think it should look for baked GI. Duke22 says, there's a game called Road to Vostok, and it's made using Godot. It is a banger. Yes, I'm aware. I've heard of Road to Vostok. Is it out already? I don't remember if it's out. Yeah, that's like the one somewhat high fidelity looking game made on Godot. Oh, it's in early access. Okay. Oh, and it has a lot of positive reviews. That's great. Very cool. Yeah, there's like 100,000 games made using Unity. It's definitely more battle tested, but I'm excited about Godot. Okay, so we finished that memento. Let's see. I think there's only one more, or maybe that was the last one. That would be exciting. No, there's one more Zale photo. Okay, let's get to work on that one. Let's do it. All right, Zale photo. Very cool. Make it a little smaller. Seems to be kind of uncentered somehow. I don't know. Let's bring those buttons up. I'm gonna move it over. Just feels a little uncentered. I think it's just the art itself feels a little uncentered. I'll move it off to the left, and then we'll make that shadow smaller. Okay, very cool. And it's a pretty simple one. I don't think there's much we need to do here. We just need to go into that Photoshop file and copy that text out. I don't think there's even anything we need to be aware of there. I think it's just pretty much a straight string. So let's just make our inspect text box just big enough to cover the, you know, I imagine we're going to want to make this smaller. I just have a feeling it's going to be too big. So I will start by maybe making this text box a little bit small, and then the text in. There we go. Oops, we do have an enter in here somewhere. See, it's just so much easier to find the enters when I paste them here. So why don't I just do that from the get-go? There we go. Oh, we do actually want a line break in here. So we'll put 2 line breaks. There we go. Oh, we maybe want one more line break, which is right here. Yeah, that makes way more sense, doesn't it? And let's put that string in there. And then it's going to be Zale photo. So it's going to be rem Zale. Photo. Tab. We've got our context. Paste tab. Okay, cool. Then we copy that loc ID back. And we paste it in here. Awesome. That should be done. And we'll make it a little smaller. I have this feeling that we're going to want it smaller. Maybe it was already small. I don't know. We'll see. We really won't know until we test the game. It's very hard to tell. Okay, does the inspect text totally cover it? Yes, it does. All right, cool. And then the shadow background, we will shrink that as well. Little kelp photo. Okay. Wombat says, I know a whole heap of people who do this and it just, oh yeah, with the tools. Okay. I hope that that works there. I think that that's all of them. Hell yeah. Let's go to the reminiscing room now. And I just need to hook them all up. We have some design issues to figure out as well, but let's start by just hooking them all up. Celia postcard, that's what we want. This one goes to Zale photo. This one goes to Acorn letter. What about you? Where do you go to? You go to Chris's T. You? What do you go to? Arthur? Arthur menu? Michael says, hi, my name is Michael. I'm Brazilian. Hello, welcome. Nice to meet you, Michael. Really like your work. Oh, thank you. I won't understand you because I don't speak English. Gotcha. Okay, well, thank you for dropping by the stream. I know you can't understand me, but appreciate your kind words. Appreciate it very much. Here, we'll understand this. Okay. So here we got another one. This one is just a stool. Okay, that one's not going to have anything on it. Azot. This one we need azots. Azot plants. Doesn't have any open sound. Some kind of card place. I don't know, hard. Potato hits wood. What does that sound like? That could work. We'll go with that. All right. Now we've got Amka. Amka note. Mary. I'm just hooking up all these UIs. Oh. Okay. No, that doesn't seem right. This one actually doesn't seem right. Because I think that Mary's is this Rotten Eels one. Davin letter. So I don't know what that is actually, but we'll see. This is supposed to be Nessa music box. And what about you? You gotta be something about Mary. Bands. Rotten. Okay, what's going on here? The Rotten Eels one is what? Let's go to the mementos. Okay. Which Celia postcard? Clover note. Mel. Oh, that one's going to be the Mel poster. Right. Yeah. This is the Mel poster. So I'm wondering, did we get them all? Did we get them all? What is this? Cauldron. No, I don't think we did this one. Cauldron article. And a chair and a broom. All right. Was this broom even interactive? I don't think this broom... It is. It's actually interactive, which I don't remember. Here, let's look at the guide. Clover. Okay, that's Clover. Clover note 2. What else? So there's something on the table here. Cauldron, Mary, Antoine. Ah, the wedding invite. So that's what it's supposed to be. Here we go. Wedding invite. And Amka will have a note on the desk. But where? Okay, well, we don't have that one yet, so we'll see about that. Arthur and Chris we did, and we did all those. I think that's all of them. Hooray! Give it a save. Duke 22, thank you for the kind words. Appreciate that. Yes, I'm about to run in right now because we just finished all the UIs, and I just want to look at all of them and see, because I'm sure some of them are going to be messed up, unfortunately. Some of them are going to be too big, too small. We'll see. I just don't have a good indicator of how big the UI feels. Oh, let me run the game in English. You know, before I do, this is going to bug the game out if I don't fix this, so let me just fix it. There's this one column in the loc sheet that I always have to change. Gotta change Chinese simplified to just Chinese. It's just how we called it in our code. So I've got to do that real quick. Take forever to get out of play mode. All right. I don't know what Unity is having a fit about something. Here we go. All right, there we go. Now we should be able to actually change the language to English and experience our room that we've been working on with all the little UIs, all the little readable things. There we go, English. Okay. Come on, go in there. Okay, that looks cool. That works. And we can inspect this. Oh, look, the inspect didn't work. Okay, so there's one bug. For whatever reason, when I click inspect, nothing is happening. So I'll have to take a look at that. Ah, nothing is working actually. Do we have like 2 instances of the UI up? Huh. We got get remaining. I don't think these are actually an issue. It's just silently failing. Let's try to find the... Should be something about Mel. Mel poster. There's the Mel poster. So we really do only have one. I wonder why. So the only thing that works is the flip button, and it works great, but for some reason, when we hit close, it doesn't close, and when we hit inspect, it doesn't inspect. Okay, well, we didn't get very far, folks. I don't think it's too big. I'm noticing some white fringing, though. We should get rid of that. Awesome. So we'll go look at Mel's poster and just check if we do have remove matte. I'm surprised that we're getting that fringing then. Well, maybe it's just built into the texture. I don't know. Very strange. So what is the deal with Mel's poster? Let's check if the markup is correct. So looking at the markup, we were running in mouse and keyboard mode. We have inspect. Oh, there's an odd click, a link to nothing. Oh dear. Oh dear. So I wonder how that happened. Mother effer. God, I can't believe that. Dang. Text for image should be inspects. Destroy on click. Yeah, that should be our close. Readable. Oh, destroy on click. We have two things here. Let me look at a readable item that I know actually works. Like the supply. Enrollment supply list. Okay, looking at that one, we've got destroy on click links to the close in the mouse and keyboard. Destroy on click links to close mouse and keyboard. Then there's a close button which links to the parents. That's weird. Why does it need two links to it? I do not know. Then I'll look at an image that has an inspect, which is the newsletter. The Glimmerwick Monthly, which links to what readable item here? The ad pamphlet. Okay. Let's open that and check that out. So that links inspect text. All right. So that is really unfortunate. We have to go and hook all those up because I'm sure that's going to be broken on every single one. I don't know how that became unbroken. Normally that wouldn't become untethered, so I don't know why we have to do this. But the button seems to be the close button, and then the image seems to be the image. Or no, sorry, the destroy on click. I don't know why we had a parent. Well, I guess we'll see. Very odd. And then the inspect text we've already linked. So that's Mel's poster. Are they all broken? Let's go through every single one and make sure that they work. Acorn letter, open prefab, looking at the roots. Everything is hooked up. Got the close. Yeah, are linked to the same object, right? Yeah, they're literally linked to the same object. Okay, well that's cool. Amka notes. You have everything hooked up. Arthur menu. You also have everything. So for some reason, it's just the Mel thing that seems to have broken. The plants also has everything hooked up. Celia postcard also has everything hooked up. Very, very odd. Okay, that one also has everything hooked up. Christy, so let's go Clover note. How about you? What do you do? You're still working. Cauldron article. Looking good. Davin letter. Great. Fern book. Lovely. Mel poster should be fixed now. Nessa music box. How about you? You are working. What an odd bird that just the first one we clicked on happened to have its markup broken. Wedding invite. Surely there's got to be one other one. Zale photo. Crazy, man. It's so bizarre. Okay. Well, let's click on the other ones then. Okay. Hey, that one works. Okay, look at that. It's too big. Gotta resize the menu. Chris's T, perfect size. Inspect button works. Yeah, that menu is way too big. This one is too high. Also, it should be, when you're in this room, this UI is going to be hidden. Oh. Is that hide UI? Is that what? Oh, why is it not hiding? It's so weird. Why is it just choosing to not work? So weird, man. It's just so weird. Just randomly breaking. Okay, but that book should be... Actually, that one is okay because these buttons, when this isn't here, it's not going to be an issue. That's fine. So this one almost feels like it should be brighter. Both of these feel like they should be brighter. That one I think should be smaller. That whole UI should be smaller. That one is finally the correct size. Also, I would say that's the correct size. That note seems like the correct size to me. That one seems like a good size. And the inspect works. And what about the Rotten Eels poster? Yep, that worked. Nope, the inspect is still broken. Oh, okay. So something about this UI just breaks itself. Very odd that the other one didn't do it. Very, very weird. But all the other ones worked. Man, it takes forever to get out of play mode. But before I forget, let's go into the reminiscing room and just try to remember which UIs needed a little bit of shrinking. Seemed like the plant definitely should be smaller, so let's do that. Open. Oop, no, 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 what are you doing? What? Oh, right. This is the prefab we want. Okay, so just the image we want significantly smaller. And then we'll move the buttons. We'll kind of cozy them in here as well. Save. What else? Oh yeah, the menu. Arthur menu was just really huge. Didn't need to be that big. And I'll move these buttons up. And inspect text probably doesn't need to be that big anymore either. Oh, we got a line break that we missed. At least I think it would look better with a line break. Huh. Maybe it's not supposed to have a line break. I don't know. Maybe it looks better without one. What? What is this thing called? Arthur menu? Oh, got caps. Okay. All right, well, whatever. Really odd. That just Mel's seems to be breaking. Look, I mean, we have everything in there, so why would it just delink? Everything would delink Mel. It's called Mel poster. So here's the close. Okay, well, one issue is that there seems to be nothing attached to this. So I don't know how that happens, but we're definitely supposed to link to the inspect on click show text for image. So at the very least that, and the close seems to be pointing to everything. So I don't know why the close wasn't working. Destroy on click. Object to destroy. Okay, somehow that became unlinked. So let's link that. There. I think everything should be fixed now. Hopefully we don't have the same issue with the Xbox stuff. No, it seems to work with a different system, but we will have to test it. I do think that the poster maybe could be scaled down. Then we'll move that little flip tut. Ooh, got the flip tut and the flip. Just move that here, and then I'll grab those buttons and just go. Ooh. Okay, well, I guess I'll leave these in the same spot. Save. All right. Well, that is great. I'm sure that the Mel poster will work now. Actually, oh yeah, the close button was on link too. I think everything will work now. Let's try it. If that works, then I'm going to call it a stream. I'm going to say ta-ta. Hooray. Okay, everything worked there. We'll try it with the controller. Oh, look how uncentered it is. It's very odd. Yeah, I feel like for some reason this UI feels like weirdly uncentered. Look at that. It also moves over. Super weird. Okay, maybe it's fine though. Cool. All right, really pleased with that. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it a stream. I want to thank everyone for hanging out while we finish up those mementos. That was a treat. We finished the Loc stuff really quick, so I'm very happy with that. Lots more to do, but nothing more I can do on stream. So I'll say goodbye, and thanks everyone for hanging out. Goodbye, Enemy VTOL. Rock on. Thanks for dropping by, Wombat. All right, see you guys. Wait, I forgot to plug my shit. If you're new to the stream, please check out our game. It's called Songs of Glimmerwick. It's a Witch Academy RPG where the magic of the world is music. The demo's available now. You can play it right now. It's like a 2 or 3 hour demo, and the save picks up from where you left off when the full game comes out. So no reason not to just, I mean, of course, there's a reason. Time is very valuable. If it looks like a stupid game that you don't want to play, then of course you wouldn't download it. But if it seems like it might be your cup of tea, then please go to our Steam page and download it and see if it's your thing. And if it is your thing, then don't forget to wishlist it so you do not miss the launch. That would mean the world to me. All right, now bye-bye. Peace out. Bye, everyone.